Hello, esteemed viewers. Welcome back to Faith Meets Politics. Today is going to be a very interesting subject because today we are going to be talking about the welfare system of the United States and how it was designed with a noble goal to provide a safety net for individuals and families in times of need. At its core, programs like food stamps, Medicaid, housing assistance, and unemployment benefits aim to prevent poverty, hunger, and homelessness in one of the wealthiest nations in the world, which is the United States. However, as the system has expanded and evolved, it has also become the subject of significant controversy. Many Americans feel that the welfare system, while necessary, is being exploited by individuals, hear me well, individuals who are unwilling to work or contribute to society. Okay, this is frustrating for a lot of people. All right, this exploitation not only drains resources but also undermines the trust of taxpayers who fund these programs. The focus of welfare should be on helping those who genuinely need assistance, such as elderly citizens like my mom that's 84 years old and is not eligible, disabled individuals, and hard-working residents who have fallen on hard times, not on enabling a cycle of dependency for those who are unwilling to put in the effort to support themselves. Okay, to understand the challenges facing the welfare system, it's important to first explore its origins, its intended purposes, and how it operates today. Then we'll examine the issue of abuse within the system, as well as the argument that welfare should prioritize those who have worked hard, have worked hard their entire lives and contributed, hear the word out, contributed to society. Let's talk about the origins of the welfare system. The concept of welfare in the United States dates back to the Great Depression of the 1930s, a time when millions of Americans were out of work and struggling to survive. Okay. In response, President Franklin D. Roosevelt introduced the New Deal. What was the New Deal? A series of programs designed to provide immediate relief, create jobs, and stimulate economic recovery. These programs laid the foundation for modern welfare, including Social Security, unemployment insurance, and various forms of public assistance. The core idea was simple, okay? In a civilized society, no one should be left to starve or suffer simply because they've fallen on hard times. Welfare was meant to be a temporary lifeline, helping people get back on their feet until they could support themselves again. Over time, this vision expanded to include long-term support for vulnerable populations, such as the elderly, disabled individuals, and single parents. Now, today, welfare programs serve millions of Americans with the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, which is also called SNAP for short, okay? Or food stamps, being one of the most well-known. Other programs include temporary assistance for needy families, Medicaid, housing vouchers, and the Earned Income Tax Credit, also known as EITC. Collectively, these programs aim to reduce poverty, improve health outcomes, and provide a basic standard for living for those, and once again, in need. While the welfare system provides essential support for millions, it's no secret, ladies and gentlemen, that some individuals exploit programs. We hear stories of welfare fraud, abuse, and not, these stories are not uncommon, okay? And they fuel the perception that public assistance is being misused on a large scale. For example, some recipients continue to collect benefits while working under the table, deliberately misrepresenting their income to qualify for assistance. Others other people manipulate residency or household information to maximize their benefits, like one of my neighbors is doing. In extreme cases, individuals use SNAP benefits to purchase items that are later resold for cash, a practice known as trafficking. Not drug trafficking, food stamp trafficking. According to the 2019 report from the U.S. Department of Agriculture, which oversees the SNAP program, trafficking affects about 1.5 of the benefits issued. While this may seem like a small percentage, it still amounts to hundreds of millions of dollars annually, money that could be used to help those who are truly in need of assistance. These numbers, I mean, they sound small, but they start to accumulate. But the issue goes beyond outright fraud. Many critics argue that the welfare system incentivizes dependency by providing benefits to able-bodied individuals who choose not to work. For instance, TANF, which is designed to provide temporary cash assistance to families, imposes work requirements on recipients. However, enforcement of these requirements varies widely from state to state. Now, which, leading some individuals to remain on welfare indefinitely. So in other words, they're not really on top of it. This dynamic creates resentment among taxpayers like myself who see their hard-earned money going to support individuals who are not making an effort to contribute to society. It also creates a culture of dependency where some recipients view welfare as a long-term solution rather than a temporary safety net. Like, how are you so comfortable being this? It's not like you get a lot of money, right? One of the strongest arguments for the reforming of the welfare system is the need to prioritize support for elderly Americans and residents who have worked hard their entire lives. These individuals have contributed to society through decades of labor, paying taxes and building communities. Okay, when they reach retirement age or, let's say, face financial hardship, they should be able to rely on public assistance as a form of gratitude and support for their contributions. Give me 1 second, my dog is bothering me again. Now, unfortunately, many elderly citizens struggle to make ends meet despite having worked their whole lives. This is shameful. Now, Social Security benefits, while helpful, are often insufficient to cover basic living expenses, particularly in areas with high cost of living. According to the National Council on Aging, over 15 million, hear these numbers, over 15 million older adults live in economically insecure households with incomes below 200% of the federal poverty level. For these individuals, programs like SNAP can make the difference between eating regularly and going hungry. Yet, the process of applying for and receiving benefits can be daunting, especially for seniors who may not be familiar with the system or have access to necessary technology. A lot of these applications are very daunting and they're very confusing. They're confusing for me when I read them, but imagine for an elderly person. At the same time, it's frustrating for many Americans to see able-bodied adults receiving public assistance without making any effort to find employment. While there are valid reasons why some individuals may be unable to work, such as caregiving responsibilities or health issues, the perception of abuse within the system erodes public trust and makes it harder to advocate for increased support for those who genuinely need help. Because there are a lot of people who genuinely need help. They're not trying to abuse this system. Now, the challenge of reforming the welfare system lies in balancing compassion with accountability, right? On the one hand, we must ensure that no one falls through the cracks, particularly the elderly, disabled individuals, and families with children. On the other hand, we need to address the issue of abuse and dependency because there's a lot of people who are dependent on this, ensuring that benefits are reserved for those who truly need them. One potential solution is to strengthen work requirements for able-bodied adults without dependents. Under current federal rules, they are required to work for or participate in a work program for at least 20 hours per week to receive SNAP benefits. However, these requirements are often waived in areas with high unemployment or during economic downturns. By enforcing these requirements more consistently, we can encourage individuals to seek employment or training opportunities. That's another option, okay? To reducing long-term dependency on public assistance. At the same time, it's important to provide robust support for those transitioning off welfare, such as job training programs, child care assistance, and transportation subsidies. Sorry about that. I'm at a loss for words today. Another approach is to increase oversight and accountability within welfare programs to prevent fraud and abuse. This could include more rigorous verification processes, regular audits, and stricter penalties for those caught committing fraud. There's a lot of fraud in the welfare system. Now, while these measures may increase costs, they can help ensure that resources are directed to those who truly need them. In addition to addressing abuse, we must also strengthen support for elderly Americans and lifetime workers. This includes expanding access to SNAP benefits for seniors, simplifying the application process, and increasing outreach efforts to ensure that eligible individuals are aware of the resources available to them. I have an 83-year-old mother, okay, American citizen, worked her whole life, and she's not eligible for these things. Policymakers could also consider increasing Social Security benefits or providing additional subsidies for health care, housing, and other essential expenses for low-income seniors. These measures will not only improve the quality of life for elderly Americans, but also demonstrate respect and gratitude for their contributions to our society. Hooray for those who pay taxes. Ultimately, the goal of welfare reform should be to create a system that is fair, efficient, and focused on helping those who need it most. This means prioritizing support for elderly citizens, disabled individuals, and hard-working residents who have fallen on hard times, while also addressing the issue of abuse and dependency. I use that word a lot. Dependency. There are people who are just stuck in the system. Now, by enforcing work requirements, increasing accountability, and strengthening support for vulnerable populations, we can build a welfare system that reflects our values as a society, okay? It's not about being punitive or judgmental. It's about ensuring that public resources are used wisely and effectively, helping to create a stronger, more equitable nation for everyone. The welfare system in the United States is a complex and often polarizing issue, but by focusing on fairness, compassion, and accountability, we can create a system that truly serves its intended purpose, all right? Providing a safety net for those in need while encouraging self-sufficiency and responsibility. Responsibility is something that a lot of people in this country are not looking to do. In the end, welfare debate isn't just about economic or policy. It's about what kind of society we want to build. Do we want a system that rewards hard work and supports those who have contributed to our community? Or do we want a system that enables dependency and fosters resentment amongst taxpayers? The answer lies in finding the right balance, ensuring that welfare remains a lifeline for those who need it most, while promoting the values of hard work, responsibility, and community. That's all, guys. God bless and be well. Make sure to like and subscribe.